You know, guys, I sold the 4080 Super and kept the 7900 XTX because the writing was on the wall. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you've been in the tech space for a while, I mean, if you go over on Reddit, if you look anywhere, there's a recurring theme all the time about, you know, once there's about to be a new generation for NVIDIA, people always, and they're always complaining that all of a sudden their expensive NVIDIA GPUs are just not doing as good as they used to. Now, I kind of feel like NVIDIA not necessarily gimps their cards, but they build them to a specific point to I feel like they do. I feel like there's some baked in obsolescence. Obviously, if you're tech savvy and you bought the card, whatever, you knew exactly what you were doing. You probably picked it up used. You were probably not buying it for the reasons that everybody else would be buying an NVIDIA card brand new. You probably were smart. You probably made a good decision. You probably knew that, like, look, I want an NVIDIA GPU. I don't want to pay that much. I'll buy it used, because you know that there are baked in. Like, you know that there's baked in cost lost. You know that. Like, you're smart enough to know that. But what's funny is the people that always seem to come at me about my decision to choose AMD over NVIDIA. Well, here's the thing, guys. I bought the 7900 XTX as a 1440p card. I didn't buy it as a 4K card. I didn't buy the 4080 as a 4K card. I bought them both as 1440p cards. I got the 3440 by 1440p monitor. Before that, I had the IPS 1440p monitor with 165 hertz. Now, I knew exactly what I was doing. And I made this decision to go ahead and keep the AMD card, because let's talk about this long term. You know, I kind of feel like, as NVIDIA kind of not necessarily gimps their cards, they just sell them with an end of life for those people that are out there like chasing the greatest, the newest and greatest. There's baked in end of life for that GPU, for that specific, like, next gen features, next gen whatever. Like, there's end of life for that. But for the savvy people that can buy a 4080 Super and play that thing at like 1440p or 1080p or something like that, those people are smart. They're smart. They know exactly what they were getting, and they probably did not pay full price for that, because you do not pay full price for an NVIDIA card for an 80 series or 90 series unless you are swapping that card out every single year. And that's the only way I could see somebody doing that and being okay with that, because they get it, they enjoy that to the fullest, and then once the performance falls off, they sell that off for as much as they can get on the used market, and then put that money right back into their newer GPU in the same class or one above. So that there, my friends, that is smart. That is what you should be doing if you are chasing 80 series or 90 series NVIDIA GPUs. That makes sense to me. Like, if I used to upgrade my phone every single year, and that makes sense to me. Upgrade every single generation to the top that you can get. Enjoy those features. Once you get the next one, sell off the other one, and boom, just recuperate as much of your money and enjoy that experience. That, to me, makes sense. Now, the people that are buying those GPUs at a used price, those are the smart people that are getting that performance for what they would have expected out of that card, out of that GPU. You know, like a lower resolution, maybe some lower settings. Being able to at least kind of play around with those features. Those people are smart. Though that's how you should be. If you're a casual, if you're a casual-ish gamer and you just want like some newer tech or whatever, that's where you should be. You should be probably in, maybe dabbling in the used market. Be careful though, guys. People will beat these cards up. Just be careful. Make sure you're getting the best deal you can. But yes, definitely, if you want that power, always wait a generation and then buy in at the lowest price you can get, or at a fair, reasonable price that you can get another 4 or 5 years out of that GPU, especially at the games that you're playing. Because that's a big thing. I've noticed that since I've become a PC player, it's not necessarily always about the newest and greatest games coming out, but it is a lot of the backlog and a lot of the older games that really do take precedent in what I like to play a lot now these days. Now, AMD, on the other hand, my friends, AMD is kind of the exact opposite of NVIDIA. They put out their cards. Like when the 7000 series cards came out, we didn't have our FSR3, we didn't have frame generation, we didn't have freaking anything, nothing at launch. It took a long time. The drivers were a little bit, you know, wonky in the beginning of the GPU generation, whatever. Like, it is what it is. But now, toward the end of the generation, and when RDNA 4 comes out, the 7000 series GPUs are probably going to be getting the AI upscaling as well, therefore making your 7000 series GPU even better right when NVIDIA is basically ending that like high quality support for the for that series of card, guys. And you got to, and this just makes sense to me. While they're ending their support for high end to try to get you to jump to the next level of their card and spend that money and take that and be a loss leader, the AMD bros are going to be enjoying that purchase even longer. Therefore, NVIDIA, and this worked on me, guys, and this was my exact experience. My mindset for NVIDIA in an 80 series card was like, no, man, that's messed up, dude. I just literally just bought this card. I wanted it to work. What the freak is going on? But most people on the NVIDIA side, those people that have to have the latest and greatest tech, they've already worked that in. And I've worked that in too. Like I completely understand that. That is like my philosophy / my mindset for buying higher end NVIDIA GPUs. That's my mindset. For everybody else, you should either be buying used or 70 class card. 70 class card, that should be where you're at. But with the AMD guys, here's the thing, man, and here's the kicker, is when RDNA 4 comes out and we get backported the AI upscalers and everything for our RDNA 3 cards, that puts a good feeling in your mind. You're like, yeah, AMD loves me. They still care about me. And then therefore you either upgrade or you've bought like a 7900 XTX and you still got a lot of life left in that card. So you're still happy and you're still satisfied with that overall experience to the point where you're not even thinking about NVIDIA. You're thinking about the new features that just came to your AMD GPU. Now, guys, I like AMD. I do. I like NVIDIA too, but I wanted that camera. I wanted the camera that I'm recording on. That is my 4090 money. That camera costs over $2,500 with the lens, with the microphone, with the microphones. Do almost $3,000 into this camera with just the stuff that I've bought for it. That was my 4090 money. I would have much rather invested in this camera for the channel instead of some GPU that I'm gonna need to switch out in a couple of years. Like that's just madness to me. This camera will last significantly longer. So that's what I bought. That's what I spent my money on. I got the 7900 XTX, and you got to look at it this way. The 4080 Super versus the 7900 XTX, and this is exactly the way I was looking at it, is like, yeah, the 4080 Super is hot right now. It's good. It's playing good. I've got good performance. It's giving me a dang good freaking quality RT experience. Like, I was happy with that. I was satisfied with that. I was like, damn, this is good. But as I started playing the numbers and I started doing things, I started to get that like, oh my gosh, dude, NVIDIA's gonna like, these cards are not gonna be that great in a little while. And you gotta look at this, 256-bit bus, okay? I mean, it's not horrible. I mean, especially if you're on 1440p. 256-bit bus, 16 gigs of VRAM. Obviously, you know, shaved down or whatever, you know, shaved down die, everything like that. Like it's just kind of a shaved down card. It's not, you know, nothing to really write home about. It's a basically, you know, that 1440p experience. Obviously, it can get into 4K. You got DLSS, you got all that stuff. You can definitely milk that card along a lot better than you could have like the 3080. Like the 4080 Super is still going to be a good card come, you know, a couple of years. The 4080, the regular 4080 is going to be a good card, but you're going to be left there wanting. You're going to be left wanting. I guarantee that. Especially if you bought into those cards thinking like, oh man, these are the freaking awesome. It's like 4K card. You're going to be sad pretty soon. Like you're going to be sad pretty soon. I feel like anyways, because you're going to start to get that degradation of performance and everything that is literally coming for that card. Whereas You know, if you bought that thing for a 1440p monitor, if you bought it for 1440p, you'll probably still be all right for a little while longer. I'm sure you're still doing pretty good, but these are the factors that you got to think in and you got to plan into. If you're going to go high end on either AMD or NVIDIA, you have to plan for these costs. Like, you have to take these into consideration, because FOMO is real. And it is like, it's always going to be there, and it's always going to be like right in the back of your mind when you make a purchase in this higher end. Now, I like it so you look at the NVIDIA side, the 256-bit bus, it's gonna start to like falter off. Whereas the 7900 XTX with the 24 gigs of VRAM, definitely enough VRAM for modding, doing whatever you want to do. AI upscaling when it finally comes to it. You've got AMD's Fluid Motion Frames 2 that is now definitely better than it was before, and they will continue to improve on that, making that a better feature all around. You've got a 384-bit bus on this GPU, so anything you throw at this at 1440p is not going to be hindered at all. Like, it's overkill. Like, it is literally an overkill 1440p card with enough power to really back that up. Like, you're going to be set. Like, this 7900 XTX, as we start getting into the future, as you've seen like the 6800 pull past the 3080, you're going to see the 7900 XTX outperforming the 4080 Super significantly as these newer games start to come out. Like, that is just something that is going to happen. It's already written. It's already written in the stars. Like, it's going to happen. And I put a lot of thought into this, my friends. I put a lot of thought in this. I do not have a problem buying an NVIDIA GPU, but I'm not chasing those new features right now. Like, I'm more at a point in my life with gaming, especially on PC, where I just want consistency. I just want consistency. I want, when I'm ready to upgrade, I want to upgrade. You know what I mean? Like, when it gets to that point where it's like, I don't want to upgrade because I feel forced to. I want to upgrade because I'm like, yeah, that's a piece of freaking tech I gotta have. That's when I want to upgrade. I don't want to upgrade every time a new game comes out and I feel like I've gotten shortchanged because I went with NVIDIA. And it's like that. Now, a lot of people are going to sit here and try to tell you that you don't get ray tracing support. Man, Star Wars Outlaws looked incredible on my 7900 XTX, and it was playable, and it felt good. Like, I was well into good frame rates playing through that whole game. It was great. Black Myth Wukong, all of the Unreal Engine 5 stuff works just fine, and it looked incredible on the 7900 XTX, over 100 frames a second. So when I look at that, and I'm playing these games, and I'm having a good experience, it just kind of behooves me. Honestly, guys, it just behooves me to think that there are people out there that are so adamantly negative against AMD when it's like, bro, I'm a grown-ass man. I can make my decisions, and I know exactly what I like, dude. I don't need some YouTuber to tell me what I like. I don't. I'm in a position to where I've got a good job. I make enough money, to fund my gaming habit. Like, I make enough money to fund my gaming habit. So when a new piece of thing comes out that I want to buy, I get it. And then I enjoy it. If I wanted NVIDIA, I would have NVIDIA. It just doesn't make any sense for me. What I like to do with video games, I like the AMD. I've always kind of been that like open source kind of dude anyways, man. I rock an Android phone. I've always just kind of been I've always just kind of been that open source type of dude. Like, I like open source. I feel like it's better. I feel like it gets really, really good support. And there's always like people, after the company stops supporting open source, then, people can just keep supporting that long term and bringing more features and stuff to that. I mean, there's such a big open world out there for PC gaming that I've barely even scratched the surface. Like, I've just barely started dabbling in like mods. So yeah, as time goes on, guys, I'm excited for what AMD has to offer. Now, I am a little bit upset that they might not bring out a high-end card, because I would like to, upgrade to a higher end AMD card, I would absolutely love to do that. Like I'll buy their mid-range card, whatever they put out. I'll buy the most powerful one, and we'll check it out. But I'm probably going to end up still keeping on the AMD 7900 XTX, you know, and we'll find out, guys. We'll find out. I probably will end up with like a 5090 next generation, just for the heck of it, just so I can look down at the 4090 bros and be like, you got to upgrade. They do it to me, man, so they're going to get it back. I'll buy their 5090, and then they'll be like, oh, man, Froggy's got a 5090, and we're stuck with our 4090s. And I'll be like, yeah, you should have just waited. You should have waited, bro. You should have waited. I'm just joking. That's mean. It's cruel, but yeah, dude. Sometimes it's like, yeah, dude, I could have went out easily and bought a 4090, but I bought the camera. The camera was more important to me at that point. And now I can buy a 5090 because I bought the camera, and now I can get a 5090. So, all right, my friends, that's my thing for today. I forgot the whole reason why this started, but yeah, guys, I don't know. I'm kind of happy that I went with AMD and the Sony FX30 over the NVIDIA 4090. I'm definitely a lot happier. So you guys have a good day, and we'll see you in the next one.